In the headlines, intense politicking continues as Bola Tinubu beats 13 other contestants to clinch APC presidential ticket. As former Kano State Governor Rabiu Kwankwaso picks NMPP presidential ticket, Adebayo emerges SDP presidential candidate. Tanker explosion kills one, destroys property in Jos. And on the foreign scene, Algeria suspends treaty of friendship and cooperation with Spain. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Hello and welcome once again. The presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has called on party faithful to use the victory of the just concluded primary election to turn the fortunes of the country around. The former Lagos State Governor made the call while addressing party members shortly after his emergence as the presidential flag bearer. Kabir Lawal reports.
Former Governor of Lagos State, Asiwaju Tinubu, urged party members to be united to enable the party have approached 2023 election as an indivisible entity despite differences occasioned by the outcome of the primary. He emerged winner of the party's presidential ticket with a margin of 1,271 votes in the election held at Eagle Square, Abuja. He was trailed by former Rivers State Governor Rotimi Amechi with 316 votes.
His Excellency Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu scored 1,271 votes. 1,271 votes.
Chairman Election Management Committee and Governor of Kebbi State, Atiku Bagudu, thanked delegates for the smooth conduct of the primaries and congratulated the flag bearer, Bola Tinubu, whom he urged to continue contributing to the upliftment of the party.
In line with the provisions of the constitution of our great party and guidelines on the nomination of candidates, and by the power conferred on me as the returning officer of this special presidential primary convention, I, Senator Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, do hereby declare Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the presidential candidate of our party in the forthcoming 2023 presidential elections.
Other 13 aspirants who contested the party's primary in Abuja include Governor Rochas Okorocha with no vote, Jack Rich, 0, and Christopher Onu with 1 vote, among others.
Those who make sacrifices of their life, left family behind, and continue to fight for the survival of this country. Be assured, it is the beginning of that time now. You will get reward and enjoy a part of your life. You won't sacrifice for nothing.
Ahmed Bola Tinubu has emerged the winner with a margin of 1,271 votes, beating all the 14 aspirants that actually contested for the All Progressive Congress in Eagle Square, Abuja. And he has become the party flag bearer of the All Progressive Congress in the year 2022.
Meanwhile, the president of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, said the emergence of Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu as presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, APC, has reassured his party of winning the 2023 presidential poll. In a statement made available to newsmen, the Senate President, who was also an aspirant in the just concluded APC primaries, said he trusts the process and accepted that Bola Ahmed Tinubu was the popular choice who can deliver the job. Similarly, presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party and former Vice President Atiku Abubakar also congratulated Bola Tinubu on his emergence as APC presidential candidate, describing the election as hard-fought. Tinubu has described Atiku Abubakar as a worthy opponent when the former vice president picked the PDP presidential ticket. The New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, has elected former Kano State Governor Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso as its presidential candidate for the 2023 election. Kwankwaso, who was the sole presidential aspirant of the party, was returned unopposed at the party's national convention held at the National Stadium, Abuja. The report. Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso with his supporters defected from the ruling APC to join NNPP in March this year. He is the lone presidential aspirant of the party. Declaring Senator Kwankwaso as the presidential candidate of the NNPP, the chairman of the party's election committee, Muhammad Abdulaziz, said Rabiu Kwankwaso is the right man to lead Nigeria out of its current predicament and restore the nation's past glory through purposeful leadership and people-oriented policies and programs. The national chairman of the party, Professor Rufai Alkali, and another chieftain of the party, Ibrahim Shekarau, said the NNPP is the only party that can salvage the country and rescue Nigerians from the era of bad leadership and deliver the true dividends of democracy.
It is the beginning of a journey to create the new nation of our dream, the new nation of our hope. It is not about the size, the history in terms of long years of stay of the party. It is dependent upon our commitment, our determination, and our sincere hope to bring the required change in Nigeria.
We have had the motion for the adoption of all our candidates who won the various offices during the last primaries. We are getting ready to take them to INEC. We are now calling for all members of the convention to approve the list. This motion has been moved by the chairman, Yobe State, and seconded by the chairman, Ondo State.
In his acceptance speech, the presidential candidate of the NNPP, Rabiu Kwankwaso, assured Nigerians that if elected, he will tackle insecurity and put the country on the path to rapid economic development, adding that what the country needs is someone who can unify its people and give every Nigerian a sense of belonging.
We are going to do whatever it takes to support our military, the Army, the Air Force, the Navy, security agencies, ensure that there is synergy between them, provide them with arms, ammunition, the kids, and their welfare, training and retraining. This, what is happening in this country, will be a thing of the past.
The NNPP National Convention was attended by all state chairmen of the party and all aspirants that will fly the flag of the NNPP in the 2023 general elections. Ibrahim Yusuf, Trust TV News, Abuja. Meanwhile, Lagos-based businessman Adewale Adebayo has won the SDP presidential primary held in Abuja. The election, held at the International Conference Center, had in attendance delegates and party stalwarts from the 36 states of the Federation. Adebayo got 1,546 votes to beat his female opponent, Khadija Okunu Lamidi, who scored 84 votes. Adebayo pledged to run an all-inclusive government if elected president in 2023. National chairman of the party, Shehu Gabam, lamented the failure of leadership in the country since the attainment of independence in 1960, adding that the SDP has considered it expedient to present itself to Nigerians as a veritable alternative that will lead the country to greater heights. And Nigerians have been urged to get their permanent voters' cards and elect leaders of their choice to avoid regret in 2023. Now, a cross-section of Kaduna residents who stated this while speaking with Trust TV says the only way to get credible leaders into power and get rid of bad governance is by obtaining PVC and voting on election days. The report.
Across the length and breadth of Nigeria, the issue of non-collection of the permanent voter card, PVC, resonates as these cards remain piled up in INEC offices. Sadly, as the 2023 elections draws closer, those who do not collect their cards will be disenfranchised. The story is not different in Kaduna State.
The only weapon Nigerians have in their hand is their PVC. That's the only thing that can secure them to restore a sustainable democracy that will restore every peaceful living.
The time is around the corner. Try and collect your PVC. Once you get your PVC, then you can vote any credible candidate.
People cannot change a system in the democratic setting without a PVC, because that's your ticket to vote somebody out or to vote somebody in.
While some have given many reasons as to why they are yet to collect their PVCs, some say they are angry that those in power have failed to deliver on their promises.
They have reason why they don't want to collect the way this APC promise that they are going to deal with the security, corruption, and the economy. All their promises failed. They fail all on their promises. So that is why many people, they don't want to even collect their PVC, even to vote.
I know many Nigerians will be angry due to some aggrieved showing their concern that the government failed to meet their expectation. But we cannot generalize that. In every situation, in every people, there are good and there are bad. But we cannot decide to step back to say we cannot vote again. Failing to vote is like recruiting bad governance and whatsoever.
The Independent National Electoral Commission in Kaduna says they are facing challenges in the collection of old PVCs as residents have refused to come for their cards.
Basically, we have two categories of PVC. We have the old ones for the 2017 CVR, and we have the new ones which we received for the Q1 and Q2 of 2021. So for the old PVCs, we have been battling to actually distribute them for a number of years now. They are actually quite large in number, and due to so many factors, those cards have not been distributed the way they should go. We are aware that in some places, people have moved due to the security challenges. That is why those cards actually are still lying down in our offices. We still have about 184,376 of those old cards.
The best way now INEC will do, they should go and meet cleric. That is the only way so that they can preach to them that they should go and collect their PVCs so that they can even change the government. Without PVC, you cannot even, without your voter's card, you cannot even change the government.
The electoral umpire explained that the commission has addressed the collection of the card by proxy.
The challenges are not far from the fact that people are used to coming for, collecting these cards by proxy. But now, the fact that people have to come physically, I think it's a challenge for some people moving around to get their cards.
For the citizens to elect credible leaders, they must have the PVC. But how will those without PVCs exercise their franchise in the forthcoming general election? The question, indeed, begs for answers. Lami Sadiq for Trust TV News, Kaduna.
The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya, has called on officers to remain apolitical before, during and after the 23 general elections to ensure credibility of the process. Yahya made the call at the opening ceremony of a 3-day second senior command and leadership seminar organized by the 6th Division of the Nigerian Army in Port Harcourt. The report.
Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya, represented by Major General Victor Ezugu, said he expects appropriate lines of communications between relevant security stakeholders to be established to facilitate cooperation during planning, preparation and execution of operations to aid civil authorities. The Army Chief expressed optimism that the seminar will afford participants opportunity to build on their individual capacity and contribute meaningfully towards enhancing Army operations.
All Nigerian Army personnel must also act within the ambit of laws and remain guided by provisions of the extant rules of engagement and code of conduct for the forthcoming election in 2023.
Major General Ezugu maintained that troops should be adequately trained, equipped and motivated to play their constitutional role in supporting the country's security apparatus.
It is desirable that all our troops are adequately trained, equipped and motivated to play their constitutional roles in support of the federal government of Nigeria.
On his part, the Chief of Training, Major General Abdul Salam Ibrahim, noted that non-kinetic line of operations is essential in tackling contemporary security challenges, adding that it is currently being reviewed to enable the Nigerian Army to meet its constitutional mandate.
The theme of the seminar for this year is aptly enhancing the capacity of Nigerian Army senior leader commanders for optimal performance in a complex operating environment.
Also speaking, the General Officer commanding 6th Division of the Nigerian Army, Port Harcourt, Major General Olufemi Oluyede, expressed confidence that the workshop will further drive the vision and philosophy of the Chief of Army Staff. He added that it is designed to equip senior commanders and military leaders with skills and mindset needed to better protect and preserve the integrity of the Nigerian Army in an increasing political environment.
It's designed to equip the senior commanders and military leaders with skills and mindset needed to better protect and preserve the cherished image of the Nigerian Army in an increasingly political environment of the present-day command.
Correspondent reports that training was tagged "Building the Capacity of the Nigerian Army to Meet Contemporary Security Challenges in a Joint Environment, the Role of Senior Leadership."
One person has been killed and other properties, including vehicles, shops and a veterinary school, burnt on Thursday morning after a fuel-laden tanker fell at the Polo roundabout area of Jos North Local Government area of Plateau State. Spokesperson of the Plateau State Police Command, DSP Alfred Alabo, confirmed the incident, but couldn't ascertain the casualty figure. He said the command is making efforts to unravel the cause of the accident. The deceased, who was said to be the driver of the tanker, was discovered in a gutter around the scene of the incident. Reports said the incident happened around 5 a.m. on Thursday when the tanker had an accident and ran into a fuel station close to a veterinary school. You're watching Trust TV News Update. Still to come on the news, how uncompleted building occupants survive in Abuja. Details of this story and more after the break. Do stay with us. Welcome back and thanks for staying with us on Trust TV News Update. Now another look at our top stories. Bola Tinubu beat 13 other contenders to clinch APC presidential ticket. And former Kano State Governor Rabiu Kwankwaso picks an NPP presidential ticket as Adebayo emerges SDP presidential candidate. Moving on to other stories now. No fewer than 6 persons were shot dead at Sabo area of Ondo Town, Ondo State, on Wednesday night by some men suspected to be bandits. This comes days after some terrorists attacked St. Francis Catholic Church, Owo, killing about 40 people. Several other church members were injured in the attack. Reports say the gunmen were on motorcycles when they carried out the attack. Another source said the gunmen also robbed some residents of the area before they left the scene. The Police Public Relations Officer of the state, Fumilayo Odulami, confirmed the incident. She, however, said it was a robbery case, adding that men of the command were already on the trail of the perpetrators. Meanwhile, families of passengers abducted on Abuja-Kaduna train have dismissed as false news circulating in the social media on the purported release of the passengers. In a short statement released by Abdul Fattah Jimo and Ba'aba Muhammad, the relatives of the victims asked members of the public to disregard the story. Governor Ahmadu Fintiri of Adamawa has imposed a curfew in parts of Lamurde and Guyuk local government areas following renewed communal clashes. Press Secretary to the governor said in a statement that the curfew will last between 5 p.m. and 6 a.m. until it is reviewed. The News Agency of Nigeria reports that the clash erupted on Monday morning, but the deployment of security personnel has brought relative peace to the area. Fintiri said government is concerned about the persisting tensions and reported attempts by some people to take laws into their hands by attacking individuals in private facilities as well as public property. The governor, while calling for calm, expressed sympathy with the families of those affected by the crisis. Now, one of the greatest challenges of emerging and fast-developing cities is housing deficits, especially for low-income earners thronging the city centers for greener pastures. Nigeria's Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, being one of the cities faced with this challenge, has seen many residents take dreadful measures, such as living in uncompleted buildings that dot the length and breadth of the city center, despite the dreadful living conditions. Now, Trust TV's Aisha Salihu went around the city of Abuja to speak with some residents living in these buildings and now reports.
The nation's capital has for a long time been reputed for uncompleted or perhaps completed unoccupied buildings, especially within the metropolis and the suburban areas, with high proliferation of houses and estates. Despite the number of houses and estates, residents have continued to grow under the high cost of house rents by landlords, and this has forced many to take refuge in uncompleted buildings.
These families living at one of the uncompleted buildings within Abuja metropolis say they lack basic amenities, but they are, however, thankful to the owner of the building for allowing them live there.
The
reason why I'm here is because my house was demolished in Karu, and I didn't have anywhere to stay. I didn't have anything to do, so I came down here and I was employed as a security man. I've been living here for 8 years.
We found ourselves in this situation after my husband and I separated. I have 2 orphans, and this kind man offered us his uncompleted building for us to stay for free. And we are really grateful to him because we have a roof over our head, and we are happy to some extent because we have food to eat and we stay here peacefully.
The quest for daily survival leaves them with no option than petty trading. They appeal to the government to look the way of people like them who are downtrodden and abandoned.
I'm pleading to government to come to the aid of those of us who are elderly and helpless.
Asking the government for much, anything they can give us is fine. We will appreciate because they are not responsible for us. If the landlord asks us to leave, we will leave and find somewhere else to stay.
The trend of living in uncompleted buildings may not be new, but it has taken a worrisome dimension lately as many of the residents have been moving from one uncompleted space to the other to access shelter as the Federal Capital Territory continues to record high influx of people seeking better living conditions. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The Trust Foundation has flagged off the training of over 20 journalists in Kano on budget tracking and investigation of public expenditure. Idris Jibrin reports that the exercise is expected to last for 3 days.
Drawn from the northwest region of Nigeria, this 3-day regional training of the Daily Trust Foundation is expected to expose participating media practitioners on budget tracking and investigating public expenditure across their respective places of primary assignments.
Program facilitators that we have lined up would educate journalists who ask which realm of the estate are you? Fourth. When you are educated, the general public or majority of the general public would be educated.
According to Kano State Government, the training of journalists on budget tracking and public expenditure could not have come at a better time than now, when the state is so much interested in seeing professional journalism practice across the country.
The choice of the theme of the workshop, I must say, is very timely, considering the unfortunate situation we find ourselves today in this country, where almost everything don't seem to be working as it should, just for the simple reason that some people somewhere for quite some time have not been doing the right thing.
Meanwhile,
and now look at the foreign scene, where Algeria has suspended its 20-year-old cooperation treaty with Spain, the country's presidency announced on Wednesday. The decision comes after Madrid reversed its long-standing policy of neutrality on the Western Sahara conflict in March by backing Morocco's position. Algeria says it considers Spain's unjustifiable change of position to be contrary to international law, directly contributing to a degrading situation in the vast mineral-rich region. In March, Algiers withdrew its ambassador in Madrid. The Spanish-Algerian treaty sought to strengthen political dialogue between the two countries at all levels and to promote development of cooperation in the economic, financial, educational and defense fields. Spain also relies on Algeria for its natural gas supply. And that wraps up Trust TV News Update for this hour. For more news, you can subscribe and follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Thanks for watching.